Good morning, my friends. How are you doing today? Now, I know we all have our preferred candidates. We all have our politicians to whom we may have paid our loyalty or promised our loyalty. But I'm here to ask you today, what if your favorite politician is lying? Look, for those of us old enough to have survived all the elections in the Fourth Republic, we know the ritual. Every election cycle, politicians arrive pregnant with promises. They arrive with mouths dripping with milk and honey, chanting the same old litany. I will build roads. I will construct bridges. I will create jobs. I will make food cheaper. I will protect you. Some of them, drunk on the wine of ambition, may even go as far as promising to grant babies to the barren and command rain to fall in the peak of a drought. If they could, they'll promise you and I wisdom and understanding, provided you promise to give them your tongue. Now, with avalanche of promises start before you, each almost indistinguishable from the next man's, how do you know who is lying? Many of them make promises similar to the next man. So, when you lay them before you, and you are hearing almost the same thing, a replica of what candidate A promises to what candidate B promises, how do you know who is lying? Now, maybe it is not even about detecting lies. For these politicians sometimes genuinely believe their own words. They are intoxicated by their own rhetoric, thoroughly convinced they can move mountains. Sometimes you tell yourself a lie for too long, you begin to believe them. Therefore, the ultimate riddle is not just exposing a liar. It's beyond that. It is measuring capacity. It is about discerning who possesses the muzzle to bring these promises to life. Now, how can you be sure? By examining the one whose words are supported by historical footprints. If a man promises you a robe, it's an age-long Yoruba magazine, that if a man promises you a robe, he himself must not be wearing rags. Before you sign a club manager to deliver you the Champions League, you best check his trophy cabinet to see what trophies are there. Has he won the league title and other minor trophies before? You know, what achievement can he really be proud of in the football world? Now, while a glittering past does not guarantee a glorious future, but a man with history at winning at least carries the muscle memory of victory. It proves he knows the geography of victory. It gives you a fighting chance. A doctor who has never cured a common cough cannot honestly promise to treat tuberculosis. So, our national ailments are not secrets. They are glaring. So, politicians merely listing our problems is not achievement. Nobody is going to win. It is going to conjure you an award for knowing our problems. Even a primary school pupil can point at a leaking roof. You know, a child can point at the ruins of a collapsed house, but it takes an architect to rebuild it. So our duty as a people is to find that architect. And the architect most likely to build the future is the one who has successfully laid foundations in the past. So that brings us home. Insecurity. The greatest challenge before us now as a nation and as a people, that is the monster that keeps all of us awake at night. Yet, while the night has been dark, the dawn is not hopeless, and the current administration has not been helpless. I'm speaking to how you know who has the capacity. Can we honestly examine the data before us today and insist that our security forces has failed? Or that our government is clueless? No, except you just want to parade campaign rhetorics. Now, we will examine the data. You examine the data, and once you travel down that lane, you can then decide if this government has been helpless. Over 13,000 terrorists has been neutralized in the past year alone. 13,000 agents of darkness have been sent back to their, perhaps to their creator, but I would believe they have been sent back to hell where they belong. Over 124,000 insurgents and their families surrendering to the superior firepower of our military. Terror-related fatalities plummeted by 18% since 2015. That means we have far less people dying to terrorism in this administration. Nearly 10,000 kidnapped citizens have been rescued from the jaws of death. Over 14,000 violent actors have been put behind bars, answering to the law. Over 2 million internally displaced persons have been returned to their ancestral homes. Now, I agree, these triumphs will never taste sweet enough as long as a single citizen remains at the mercy of this beast. But in the grand calculus of governance, we must ask, what is the alternative? If you think Tinubu, Asiwaju Tinubu, the president, and this government has not done enough, I'm asking, of those that have presented themselves on the matter of security, which is our greatest challenge today, what is the alternative? Atiku is an eternal apprentice. Although he speaks with the authority of a master, yet he has only been an apprentice. The buck has never stopped at his table. You know, having never won the heavy crown of governor or president, he has never had to make the lonely and agonizing final call when a nation's survival acts in a balance. Atiku has never called the shots. He has never he has never been in the position to take responsibility. So he does not even know how heavy the weight is. You cannot learn to use your left hand in old age. He's not going to learn that now. So on the grave battlefield of national security, Atiku's resume is a blank page. Now, Peter, it's even worse. You know, for when Nigeria was still considered relatively stable or safe before the storms of today, Anambra State under Peter's watch suffered a catastrophic collapse of security. Bakassi boys went on murderous rampage. Monarchs were kidnapped. Politicians were abducted. Senior government heads were taken. Now, if the mighty and protected under Peter Obi could be hunted like game, what hope was there for the truly vulnerable? A man who could not secure a state cannot secure a nation. Let's be serious in this nation. Let's be serious. So, now let's go to the economy. Shall I begin?